Hey, we're looking at installing the backboard and trough lighting for JJP games. This is the trough lighting. Backboard lighting is pretty similar. Obviously, just goes on the backboard, right above the backboard on the cabinet, and we'll show you that as well. But this is the trough lighting system. Basically, it's two rows of lighting with a piece of tape in between, and the tape is what adheres to the trough area. And there's a plug right there that's going to plug into your controller box, which we'll look at. And then also you're going to get this wiring harness, which is providing power to the control box. So let's take a look at installing this. Of course, you're going to have to take off the apron for your game. This is a WAS, but should be similar to any other game that's recent for JJP. You're going to want to, now this plastic piece is bent in a way that is close to what is needed for here, but you can bend it further. For example, as I'm aligning the piece here, you can see that this one needs to be bent just a little bit more. So I'm just going to use my hand here and bend it until I get the exact shape that I need there. There are little cutouts for each screw. It's not going to go all the way down to the bottom, but it'll be pretty close. And then once you have aligned everything and it looks like it's going to fit in the right spot like this, then you can remove the backing from the tape and align it all in place and stick it all the way to the metal bracket here. You're going to want to clean the metal bracket with alcohol swab. I believe will provide that. If not, just use some alcohol and clean that to give good adhesion. And then when that's all done, this cable is going to go down through this hole right there. And that's all that needs to happen above the playfield. You can put the apron back on, and then we'll look at in the cabinet and under the playfield. So I've propped the playfield up now, and that's the hole where the wire is coming through. And this is where you're going to mount the controller box. So basically you can mount the controller box anywhere on the wood that you're seeing, as long as the cable can plug into the controller box. Now, on the controller box, there will be an arrow on the plug that plugs into this cable, and on this cable there's an arrow as well. So those just match up and they just plug together. You can use some tape or hot glue if you want to connect these two together. They are just a pressure fit, which should be fine because the controller box has some adhesive on the bottom of it. Actually, it will have a Velcro piece on there, so you can remove the controller box if needed. But basically, you'll just mount the controller box on the wood there, and you can just align it so it gives enough pressure to hold the two plugs together. They don't fall apart. They hold together pretty readily. But just mount it so that it gives a little pressure there to hold the plug together, and you should be good to go from this perspective. Let's look at the wiring harness. So the wiring harness is meant to go starting down here in the front left corner of the machine. So you can see where we're at, just below the start button. There is a 4-pin connector down here that has one black and two yellows. You're just going to separate that apart, and that's what the wiring harness plugs into to get power. And then you're going to tediously run the wire all along the side of the cabinet where I'm pointing. It's going to follow all the wires that go up along here. You'll want to put it within the little clips that hold the wire in. One right there. So just run it all along the wire, along the existing wires there, and until you can get to the back there. And then you're going to want to prop the playfield back down and continue along the wires that go along the back of the cabinet and come up into this black loom here. So that is going to get you the routed power cable all the way around, and sort of where my hand's pointing back there behind the CPU cabinet, if you have one. If your game doesn't have one, just take it all the way back and bring it along this loom that's here. This is the loom for WAS. It's similar to other games, but basically you'll have a loom of wires coming up to the playfield. You're going to run that cable up through here, and as neatly as you can, you're going to want to run it along any existing wire looms that come up all the way to the top of the playfield. All the way up there. I guess the bottom of the playfield, but top in this case. So then you'll just take the plug that's here and plug it in the controller box. We'll take a quick look at one of those controller boxes. Here's that controller box. So as you can see, as I noted, there's a arrow on that plug right there that matches up to the arrow on the other side. This is the IR receiver, so that's what the remote is gonna hit when it needs to, when you're using it to make changes. So this IR will be sitting basically inside the coin door here. You know, the front of the playfield will be down here, and so you can just open up the coin door and make changes using the remote that way. And then the remote here has two different sections. The top section controls the RGB, so there's an on and an off, and you can choose the colors, obviously. Brightness controls up there. And then this section down here, the white area is for the white lights. So the lighting you're getting has two sets of LEDs for each section of the lighting. One is a white LED and one is an RGB LED, so you get to control both of those. So you can set your RGB colors to what you want and then set the white to how bright you want to augment that. So if you want a dim color, you don't even have to turn on the white lighting, and you can see there brightness controls and then percentages for that as well. Down here are some modifications you can make to different programs that are included with this. I don't think you'll want to use those. It's for animation and flickering and stuff like that, so you can just ignore those down there. But that's the installation for the trough lighting. Now for the backboard lighting, it's very similar. You're gonna do the same thing with the power connection over here. You'll have the same power wiring harness. So connect it to the 4-pin connector that's down here, run it all the way along the side and into the back corner of the cabinet, and then up the back corner, and then we'll show you where it mounts. So that's the back corner of the cabinet. You can see on this game there's a little wiring loom holder there that you can run it into, and then all the way back up into the top corner. And basically what you're going to want to do is mount the lighting strip. You'll have a long piece of lighting here with an adhesive back, so you're just going to mount the lighting strip starting here underneath this plastic glass slide piece here. So just where my finger is under there, you run it all along the bottom here, and that will be the mounting for your backboard lighting. There will be some mounting tabs and zip ties included, so you can put mounting tabs back up here in the corner and along the inside of the cabinet here to hold the wiring in place. And you can plug either the trough or the backboard lighting in. Doesn't have to be both. And once they're plugged in and you're good to go, turn your game on, test them out. The remote will control both of them. So you can control the backboard lighting from above the playfield. You'll have your control box mounted back up in here. And the IR blaster sitting there, the IR receiver. So you can point your remote to the back corner, and otherwise you're good to go.